like a stranger. You forgot which face to hang. Your changing shapes are so persuasive, I'm beginning to feel insane. But I'm past that, but I'm back at this path I wanted to take. With that laugh, it's flashbacks, we've never been one and the same. It's like this whole routine, you're over me, I'm cold between the shoulders. You're holding me, you cope with me, we both keep growing older. And now we're confined to the same conversation. We always had it coming, we never had a chance. The wrinkles on your finger, the blisters on my hands. We always had it coming, we never had a chance. The wrinkles on your finger, the blisters on my hands. We always had it coming, we always had it coming. We always had it coming, we always had it coming. Zombie with a shattered dream, bastard of a human being collapsing in a plastic scene. Providing oxygen, for each other, and the cause is always mocking me. Blocked it from my vision, could not commit to my forgiveness, could not move on from my position. Locked within your prison, my mind wandered. I was looking for a bed to rest. Pop my weary knuckles while I'm stepping over severed heads. They wanted us dead, and they buried us both in separate graves with separate names. We were barely afloat. They wanted us dead, and they buried us both in separate graves with separate names. So go ahead and drown me out. Ignore me cause I found you hell. Go ahead and drown me out. Ignore me cause I found you hell.
One minute to go, and counting.
Go ahead and drown me out. Ignore me cause I found you hell.
30-second mark on it, right up. 30 seconds to go.
I found you hell. Go ahead and drown me out. Ignore me cause I found you hell. Go ahead and drown me out. Ignore me cause I found you hell. Go ahead and drown me out. Ignore me cause I found you hell.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Now tune into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Where are our rights right now? They're wherever you're willing to draw a line and say, you cannot come across this line or I'll kill you. That's where your rights are. And if you don't understand that, folks, then it's beyond my capability to explain it to you. They will get away with whatever you let them get away with. And until you draw the line and you're willing to die for what you believe in, they will keep taking and taking and taking and taking until there is no more to take. It's all gone, and you're a slave.
The deep state, the Marxist, the mainstream media are trying to take over a country that's been built by our blood, sweat, and tears over the last 240 years. It's time to keep America great by restoring what made us the greatest country on earth, the U.S. Constitution. Broadcasting live from high atop Mount Washington in the Cincinnati, Ohio, FEMA Region 5. I'm your host, Pete Santilli.
Welcome to the Pete Santilli Show. The commentary and incitement you're about to hear is based on opinion, truth, and fact, and is meant to be used as an educational tool to fight the New World Order, the global elite, and the eugenics agenda. The Pete Santilli Show will never be censored by any corporation, and Mr. Santilli is certainly not beholden to the opinion of any of his sponsors. The opinions of his guests may not necessarily reflect the opinion of Mr. Santilli. Further, Mr. Santilli would like to urge his listeners to remain calm throughout the collapse, obey the Constitution, act lawfully, responsibly, and at their own risk of being brutalized by tyranny when taking any action after listening to the Pete Santilli Show. Also be advised, this program may contain adult content and parental discretion is strongly advised. It's time to throw away your chips and your Diet Cokes, so cling to your Bibles, and your bug-out bags, and get ready for the Pete Santilli Show. Pete Santilli telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
And I certainly hope that that our audio is doing fine. I'm going to tell you something right now. Periscope has been shut down. Okay? Isn't that interesting? Okay, so it is interesting. If you guys want to call in and talk to me, you are welcome to. If you guys can say hello to me at the following telephone number, I'll put the call-in number up on the screen. The number to call in is 213-233-3998. That's 213-333. I'm sorry, 213-233-3998. And that's the TFR line. And I will certainly put that up right now. And I don't have our chat room open, but I think that's going to be okay for right now. I think I'll get it. I just can't. I just don't have enough time. So what's going on, Deb Jordan?
Oh, nothing. I'm just hanging out with you this
you
afternoon.
Are?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can you do me a huge favor, though?
I can.
Can you please get that curtain? Please? I appreciate it.
I can.
Yeah, there you go. It's just the light. I mean, we could leave it that way, but the lighting in the background will actually throw it off. If you would, please. Okay. You know what I want to do? I want to let everybody know that this morning, and I need to give you guys some advanced warning of something that's coming that everyone needs to be well aware of. When we get shut down and we get trickled back, this has been happening for months now, okay? First of all, it has been happening to Alex Jones since right before the midterm elections. He got shut down, and everyone is, they're just watching, and they're saying, well, Alex Jones, he's at the tip of the spear, There we go. He's, plus I don't like him, so. Platforms, of course. Somebody said in the MeWe chat room, wow, things are gonna get pretty bad. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, did I lose the telephone line? You got to be kidding me. Are we doing okay right now?
We seem to be doing very well.
We are?
Yes.
I just want to make sure we're doing okay. Let me check the telephone lines really quick, okay? Because earlier we had some funky stuff going on. Let's check this person, Stephen in Reading, Pennsylvania. Sorry.
Yeah, hey Pete. Did you say is it Periscope down for you? Did they ban you, or is it across the board?
Oh, I don't know. I know mine is down.
Because the other thing, because the one thing I have concerns with is, they took down the Facebook Live map.
They took down. Okay, this is what they did, and I'm glad you're mentioning this because this is exactly what my point is, ladies and gentlemen. For months now, okay, and I was one of the first ones actually to get taken out. What's wrong? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Is everything fine?
I'm having an
all
allergic
nervous
reaction.
because, huh?
I'm having an allergic reaction.
You are okay.
Yes, but I'm good.
I just want to make sure everything's okay.
Thanks
so, anyways,
for asking.
This happened. We had our channel taken down for quote unquote bullying, and it wasn't bullying. It was actually a target on a what we discovered to be a false flag. Okay, remember that lady that got shot by the guy that had the body cam and she was live on the air and her cameraman both got shot? Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Are you really having it? Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm going to be fine.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so anyways, I actually put up a recording that showed that the overhead shot of the decking, all of the decking was running one way, and the shot of the body cam that the guy had, he had a GoPro on, when he was shooting her, the slats on the decking were a completely different way. They shut my channel down.
Different direction.
And had it, they had it attacked. Basically, there was no doubt about it. I said, here's an anomaly. The decking where this lady's standing right here getting shot is completely different than the overhead shot of the crime scene. And we had 100,000 subscribers whacked. We were one of the first channels that actually start getting whacked. And then you know what happened when I got taken off the streets for 619 days. Now coming out, I mean, one right after the other. Facebook pages. I mean, 20 million subscribers in our Facebook page. This is what they're doing, Stephen. They're cutting you off. They don't want you and everybody else to have access to any truthful information.
I remember being subscribed to that page and then it just disappearing at one time.
Oh, yeah. Hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of truth tellers, truth seekers and truth tellers have been literally wiped off the face of the planet because they only want you to be getting, either weak information, from people that aren't doing it professionally, or they want you to get false information from people like Glenn Beck and Anderson Cooper and all those other deep state operatives that have a bunch of cash, pumped in their coolie, right?
Yeah, they kind of remind me of the Feel Good Church.
Yeah, right, exactly. But
you know what I mean? Like,
did you get us on? Are you getting us on YouTube?
Yeah, but your 9 o'clock show was cut from. We're both in America, but I couldn't see it. Banned in my country is it?
You know what it said? It said your video has been blocked in one country, and guess why it was blocked?
Yep.
Because I played an Alex Jones clip. They gave me the exact time marker. It was an Alex Jones clip. They blocked it in one country, and that one country was the United States of America. They blocked it altogether.
I think you were answering me back earlier. I'm actually convict in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
That's
everyone's
my
using...
name in the chat.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Sometimes I get confused because everybody has all these different names, so I can't keep up with it. There's like... I try
to have a million different aliases today.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm Pete Santilli. You guys won't get confused with me.
Yeah, the one thing... I've been following you since the Mueller thing and all that.
Dude, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Matter of fact, I called into your show when you were in the hotel room. I watched a live video of you driving up the road trying to get them out, asking if you can go get them out of there. And that's when you got arrested.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. And you did
that. I watched the dashboard. I was like, oh, come on, don't drop the camera.
Yeah. No, they can't.
But the one thing I'm worried about is the Facebook Live map. You can't go on it no more.
The Facebook Live what?
They're not allowing you to see live things. I used to break a lot of news that way because people get it first. They got their cameras open and all.
Oh, so now, okay,
this is interesting. And they're reporting the story before the news gets there.
Oh.
So you used to be able to get things like fires and school incidences and stuff quicker, but now they don't allow you to have it because they don't want you to have the information. They don't want you to have instant access to someone's live stream because they can't control the narrative that way.
Yeah, dude, you know why? Because they're getting ready to kill millions of people. Okay, that's what go look.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why would they want you to have a live stream when the helicopters start landing?
Yeah. They don't want that. They want to be able to kill millions of us, and then they only want people to have access to it. They're going to be able to delete all of the live streams that are exposing them, of course, and then the people that are analyzing it, like myself, they want to cut you off from all of that, and then they want you tuned into Glenn Beck. And Glenn Beck is going to say we have to.
Like if you punch
it's the planet. The planet is cooking. Huh?
Yeah. If you were to punch in, like if you go right now, punch in Facebook /map, and that used to take you to the live map. Now it takes you to a place called Watch, where you can watch clips of videos.
Yeah, I don't know if people do live streaming on Watch.
Yeah, but the only people that can actually watch it are friends and people that they share it on to. You can't. I can't go just like if you're live on a location at a fire in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I can't just hover over Albuquerque, New Mexico, find you live. There's no map to do that no more. Nice. I don't know if they like every time I went on it, it was just a map. You can hover over all the bubbles. I was watching stuff in Paris with people that had live streams going on, and you can't do none of that now.
Oh wow, that is interesting. That's the maps, not just the watch application. That's interesting. Yeah,
like when you go on Watch, when it like you used to be able to, I used to be able to click on, because I go to it a lot. It's in your reference bar. So once you put in Facebook, it'll come up. Underneath it'll come up Facebook map / and a bunch of letters. That's just basically where you were, what video or where you were at on the map at the time. You click on that, it would usually take you right back to the map.
Huh.
You know what I mean? And then I could just, hover over everybody, see what people are talking about. I usually go to the big bubbles first to see if it's any breaking news. And you can't do that no more. They're not allowing you to see live.
Yeah. I would say everybody, and thank you very much for calling in, Stephen. I appreciate it. I would say, anybody that continuously stays on Facebook and expecting a different result other than techno-tyranny is that's what do they say? That's the definition of insanity, right? That's what you should expect to get is techno-tyranny. Let me say hi real quick to Clyde in Beulah, Colorado. Hi, Clyde. I'm going to get to the news. I just wanted to make sure I said hello, and we're off and running here. Roger Stone's going to be on in about 45 minutes. What's going on, sir?
Hey, it's snowing like crazy. We're probably going to have about 11, 12 inches of snow here. It's a good, light, fluffy stuff, so you blow it off with your leaf blower. But, these people, Louis and others, wow, what a wealth of information for us.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Deb's having an allergic reaction right now. She looks
oh my God.
She looks like Violet Beauregard in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'm just kidding. She's turned purple.
That's not very nice.
No, what's that?
I said that's not very nice. It's just my eye is watering.
What do you mean that's not very nice? I love Violet Beauregard. She ate that bubble gum and had an allergic reaction and turned purple.
I know.
Right?
Well, I'm not turning purple. It's just my eye is watering because I think I got some moisturizer in it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
It's just going to have to flush itself out. So
carry
on.
Okay, thank you very much. But Clyde, I'm going to get to the news here because I got a short window, and then I'm going to bring Roger Stone on. I just wanted to say hello. Enjoy the snow. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Pete.
Okay. All right, sir.
You know what? I have to do something here. I never do this, but I have family in the chat room. I want to say hello to Frank and Anna.
Hi, Frank and Anna.
Yeah.
How are you?
From Youngstown, Ohio. They're going to be here in Cincinnati tomorrow. I can't wait to see them. And
what's going on, Frank and Anna in Ohio?
We love them. They're listening. The first time they've heard our show. So.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome to the Pete Santilli Show. I don't normally. Actually, you should see me. I look like an organ grinder monkey this morning with my red vest and my MAGA hat.
I think
but we're getting ready to have Mr. Roger Stone come on here in just about 45 minutes. And before we get to that, I need to remind everybody, as I always do, that this is still the holiday season, and guess when it concludes? It concludes at midnight, ladies and gentlemen. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is the last time you're going to hear me say this. Trump Coin 2020. If you go to Trump Coin 2020 right now, if you order 3 or more of the President Donald J. Trump 2020 Freedom Coins, 3 or more, you get free shipping. That offer will not be the same after midnight. So you have until midnight tonight to order your 45th President of the United States Donald J. Trump coin. It's 0.999% fine silver, and that's brought to you by the folks over at Noble Gold. We'll have other offers come up in the future, but that one's a doozy for the holiday season. So go to TrumpCoin2020.com.
And they are beautiful.
They are beautiful. Comes in a nice little plastic protective case as well.
They do.
Keeps it from overexposure to the elements, we shall say. All right. Now, this morning, I was just in a rant, and I need to finish my rant and let everybody know that you guys are. I'm not exaggerating right now. We're literally on our last breath of being able to speak to you. Okay? We are. From Periscope being down, look at all these dropped rates and stuff. Oh, wow, okay, I'm just looking at that. I don't know what's going on. We should be doing okay on the audio. If everyone can let us know that we're doing okay.
Everyone
on
seems,
the audio,
yeah, we're doing great.
Well, we have been under attack, okay? We're on our last outlet. We got shut down, having been cut off and had our 250,000 fans on Facebook deleted because of censorship. Because, you see, they don't like us speaking anti-Marxist. They don't like that. The Marxists don't like us saying, hey, we don't like your Marxism. Oh, they can't have that. They have to delete you. You know, so conservative speech on the front doorstep of an election. We got cut off from Liberty One TV, having had 20 million plus people deleted. We are on our last breath in our YouTube channel, but we have TFR, of course, on our audio channels across the board. We've got emergency backups. Those emergency backups will only be implemented if you're here. If you're on our MeWe, you get to join us in our MeWe group chat, in our groups, our chat. People are, of course, they get over there and like, oh, my goodness, this is different than Facebook. Yes, it is.
It is.
Yeah, you might actually change neighborhoods and move it on up. You know what I mean?
Really like
to the east side.
You know what I really like about it?
What?
Well, we're moving on up.
Yeah.
I really like that there's no ads. You notice that?
Yeah, there's no ads.
There's no ads.
There's other ways to. Yeah, there's going to be other ways to monetize, I'm sure.
But there's nothing that gets in the way of the information. There's no distraction. And maybe that's what people are finding hard to get used to. Mm-hmm. That it's just pure information. They're not pushing anything. It's really pretty cool.
Yeah, but we also need to recognize that the offset to that is, platforms like that need to grow. This is what I would like to do, okay? We need to get away from free, because Facebook is free, but you're the product. You're the slave. You're clicking away. Mm-hmm. They sell, your profile. They do all that stuff. I would much rather I would pay for MeWe service right now. I'm not just saying that. Right. They're not talking about doing that, but I would do it to keep the platform the way it is.
Well, they have like a.
I would pay for freedom.
What do they have? They offer a something. What is it? A private. You can.
They do.
And it's a subscription.
Yes.
It's very, very, very inexpensive.
Yep.
So.
They do.
Yeah.
But anyways, here's my point. If you're not on MeWe, okay, you're going to be left to. Oh, my goodness, look at those people jumping out of the building. And then Anderson Cooper saying, oh, Osama bin Laden flew into the and it's yes, we were talking to him in a cave 3 weeks ago, and we knew he was up to something, huh? And right? Didn't they do that? Didn't they interview Osama bin Laden? Something the guy that we already know. I actually have whistleblower testimony, by the way, for your family members that are tuning in right now, hearing this for the first time. When they hear... He essentially just said that Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset.
Yes.
Yes, he was. He was a CIA asset.
Yes.
And we've got a bunch of weirdos off in the corner that know this, us, and we're part of this awakening. But CIANN interviewed, coincidentally, they always interview all the CIA assets, of course. Mm-hmm. And then they say, we interviewed him, we had an exclusive with Osama bin Laden. Yeah, probably because you have him in your Rolodex. And you got him on speed dial.
Yeah.
Because he's a CIA asset.
That's right.
And then you just knew he was going to be up to something. And boy, he just had those people fly into those planes, and they said, Osama bin Laden just launched an attack. We need to go bomb Iraq and Afghanistan. No, you needed to go get the lithium in Afghanistan and all of the heroin in Afghanistan. That's what you needed. And you needed an excuse to do that, to go get some guy with a gun in a freaking cave. Right?
Yeah.
Let's spend trillions of dollars to go get multi-trillions of lithium and heroin and bring it into Baltimore. What do you think?
Uh-huh.
Yes. All right.
Gotta guard those poppy fields.
Your family members should be gone.
No, I don't.
Now. They're not?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we talk about here.
They're hanging out.
This is why we get shut down. Get over to MeWe. Subscribe to both of our channels. I'm saying this to you. If you're sitting there saying, that's all you're talking about, it's us getting a MeWe. Yeah, I mean, I would sit there and say that myself.
Well, you know why, though?
Why what?
Because there's a sense of urgency, because we know.
Because we can speak to them right now.
Well, and we know that they're going to shut us down, too. You know, we want everybody to know where we're at.
Yeah, they're always shutting us down. All right, now let's get to some of the important news headlines. Pocahontas is going to be running for office, it looks like. Warren gets ready. Warren is a Marxist, okay? You could get ready all you want. If you're a Marxist and you smell like a Marxist and you quack like a Marxist, what are you?
You're a duck.
A duck!
She's definitely a Marxist and proud of it.
If it smells like a Marxist, it walks like a Marxist, and it acts like a Marxist, what are you? A Marxist. So go get ready. There she is, getting ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Warren is going to be running for office, but who cares? The president of the United States is Donald J. Trump, and he will literally eat Pocahontas for lunch. Let's take a look. We're going to just we're going to peruse some of the news.
Yeah, and we want to thank Ben Time Traveler, too. He dropped us a $5 super chat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Before we get
Thank you so much. Now, hold on one second. Let me deduct it from the $873,000 that he actually benefited from all the pot that I gave him. I gave him at least $873,000 worth of pot.
A trillion.
A trillion, yeah. No, just $873,000. Okay?
That's it.
Howard Dean is saying that Trump is mentally incapacitated, and that's the guy that was he was running around screaming, acting like a gooftard, and actually lost the election because he was mentally incapacitated. So is it because he knows that President Trump is not mentally incapacitated? That the Nazis used to do that. Okay, so why, you want to give yourself an excuse to try to overthrow the president of the United States. You want an excuse for that. The Nazis used to say, well, Pete Santilli hasn't broken any laws, but let's go bust his door down for his own safety because we believe he's mentally incapacitated. So we'll take away all of his guns and we'll do that. The Nazi Gestapo used to do that, right? So we're going to kind of break the rules a little bit for your own safety, right? We're going to remove you from office. It's not a coup d'etat. We're actually concerned about his mental instability, right? Isn't that how they do it? Fake, 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 fake. It's called a coup d'etat. Now, this is what I will say. I was mentioning it earlier, but I got off track. There were people that were in that chat room. One guy, I'm not going to mention his name. Anyway, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying, somebody's like, wow, things are going to get really bad. I'm like, no, they're not. This is easy. Okay? If I were a Marxist, and at first I would, before I started installing Marxism, I'd say, holy cow, we need to worry about all these people that, that they're online saying that they got guns, they got don't tread on me flags, they got, they're all, preppers, and they're all tough guys, they eat meat, they swing a hammer for a living, right? We better watch out if we start installing Marxism for these people because they sound really rough. They're going to come get us. Well, guess what? Guess what they've done? The Patriots, they're just running a freaking tank right over them. And it's easy. And the Marxists are like, they're not even doing anything about it. We can actually just do this right out in the open now. We could say, we're going to take your guns. And they're like, no, you're not. And they're on Facebook looking at memes, right? Sending out memes. You'll never get my stuff. And then they're ultimately ending up getting their doors busted down in New Jersey. Like New Jersey's gone. New Jersey, I think they open up their front door they don't even need to bust their door down. The people are just opening the doors saying, come get my guns, right? Just laying down. This is a cakewalk. Patriots have become really a laydown. They can take your First Amendment, your Second Amendment, and all they have to do is just kind of lie to a bunch of people and tell them it's all for their own good, right? Everybody's just laying down. They've taken your education system. They've taken your internet. They've taken your elections. They've taken all of these things. I say they have taken yours. Ours. I mean, this is my country. I'm literally watching this happen. And I thought we'd at least put up a squirm, right? I thought we would. But we're not in for a rough time. We're right in the middle of it. It's not even rough. It's easy. Steamrolling patriots is much easier than they ever thought it would be. It's a piece of cake. Look at, they ran over Alex Jones. Nobody said a thing. This is great. Let's go after the rest of them. We'll be right back right after this.
Hey everyone, Pete Santilli here. I want to let you know that this broadcast is brought to you in part by our friends at Rugged Reserves. Their Patriot flashlight is a must-have for every E-Militia member. Just think about it. When you pack your bug-out bag, you want everything from glass-breaking hammer to a cell phone charger to a flashlight to a wire cutter and compass. Well, you can get all of that and more with the Patriot flashlight. Light up the darkness with 500 lumens that can be seen miles away. And there's an emergency strobe with 4 unique lighting modes. Now the Patriot flashlight even comes with an emergency siren. And you know what the best part is? It's solar powered, so this bad boy will always have power when you need it most. It really does make the perfect Christmas gift. So get one for your bug-out bag, your car, your wife's car, for your home. Just visit PatriotFlashlight.com. I'll leave the link below this video. Use promo code P20 to save 20% off your purchase. That's PatriotFlashlight.com. Enter promo code P20. The link is below this video.
From sweet and spicy to fiery, bold, and full of flavor, Brother Doc's is not your typical beef jerky. Never dry and brittle. This jerky comes beautifully packaged with large cuts of meat that are moist, tender, and chewy from beginning to end. Brother Doc's recipes contain the highest quality ingredients that result in innovative flavor masterpieces, like orange teriyaki, barbecue mesquite, and their signature bold pepper flavors properly named Volcano and Burnout. Moderate pricing and great flavor will have you in beef jerky heaven. Go to sbn.buzz/brotherdocs to place your order so Doc knows you heard about him here on the Pete Santilli Show. It's true what they say about Brother Doc's beef jerky. One bite and you'll be a believer too.
It's amazing how people have been raving about iAlife all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with iAlife, it's a 99% pure CBD oil. But the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with iAlife. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to iAlife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's iAlife.com, AYALife.com.
Okay. And Howard Dean, back to what I was talking about earlier. Howard Dean himself, Mr. Wingnut, crackhead, mentally unstable, lost a presidential campaign as a result of his mental instability, is now criticizing President Trump. Well, because that's going to be the Marxist narrative that, oh, the reason why we're going after your guns, ladies and gentlemen, is for your own safety. The reason why we're going after your president is your own safety. It gets all of the, all of their opposition to just lay down, doesn't it, Deb Jordan? Right? Huh? It does. Just gets them to lay down easy. Go ahead, take our guns, take our president, take our First Amendment. Here you go. Piece of cake.
Just take everything.
Just mail it in.
Ooh.
So you don't have to leave your Facebook memes, right? Why interrupt the flow? It's a walk in the park. You got Howard Dean. He's speaking on behalf of everybody. He's mentally incapacitated. I thought it was actually that they were installing Marxism, and that was a bad thing. But no, it's not that. It's because President Trump, of course, is mentally incapacitated. You know, at first, wasn't it Russia collusion? Weren't they trying to push for that at one point in time? Do you remember that? Not too long ago.
Well, they still are.
They were saying,
they refused to give.
No, they were full bore. I mean, that's all they would need. Why even bring up the mental incapacitation if you got the Russia collusion?
Well, because they're gonna go all out, Pete. They're gonna use every single thing that they have in their armory against President Trump.
Yeah. Hey, Howard Dean says Trump is mentally incapacitated and can't negotiate with Democrats on a shutdown. I would say that President Trump is probably one of the most skilled negotiators on the face of the planet. Although he couldn't get one thing done, and that was to actually collude with Russia because he was working on building a skyscraper since the late 80s and couldn't get it done. So he sucks at that negotiating.
Well, don't you know, Pete, that anybody who would go up against the Democratic Party, the Democratic Socialist / Marxist, has got to be out of their mind.
Oh, they out of their mind.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
here's another thing. There is no negotiation. We're going to get a wall. We're going to stop illegal immigration. I put out a report yesterday where Chuck Schumer himself said, we don't want illegal immigration. We don't want illegals coming over the border. And we need to have a fence on the border. He said it himself. His own words.
He did. They all did.
Now, all of a sudden, he doesn't want one. He wants open borders. Why? Because Nancy Pelosi has a run up her frickin' granny porn pantyhose, right?
Yeah. So
that's why.
We've got Hillary Clinton, who used to, it was part of her campaign, talking about the illegal immigration, right? And getting more security on the border and turning these people back, these illegal immigrants. Barack Obama did it. Who else did? Slick Willie, Bill Clinton. It was part of his campaign and part of his campaign promise. The border has always been a part of everybody's campaign promise until now. Until now.
Now they're against it. Now, I published that report. I'm not going to go into that, but let's listen to the wingnut himself, Howard Dean, the guy that actually lost a presidential campaign because of his mental incapacitation. The guy was just an absolute nut. Remember that screaming incident that he did? Yeah! Remember that whole thing? They're not going to show that, I'm sure,
at this point,
MSNBC.
There's a sense that we got to come together. The president is not going to budge anywhere when it comes to this shutdown, and they got the Democrats saying, we don't even know what this deal is, and then he tweets something like this.
There is no deal. We don't negotiate with terrorists. What do they not understand? Huh? How about this? You give us the border fence and shut down the illegal immigration, or you leave the country. We'll deport you. How about that? Does that sound like a fair deal? Let's negotiate a deal.
I think that's Trump's only deal.
That's his only deal. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
It's the only thing he's offering these days.
As I've said before, I actually think the president is mentally incapacitated, and I have thought so for quite some time. I mean, he says things that he knows aren't true, I suspect, and that somehow he thinks that people are going to believe, and they just don't. So you can't really make a bargain with some.
What do we not believe in? I've actually been down on the border, and I watched during the Obama administration a wide open border and a whole bunch of Texans that were sitting on Facebook tweeting, or you're tweeting or looking at memes. They literally were. Well, I was down on the border. I'm watching 50 to 100 Mexicans, illegal immigrants, Middle Easterners, Guatemalans pouring over the border, climbing the fence, right? In certain areas where there was a fence, just climbing right over. While the Texans sit there on Facebook, right? This is literally what's going on down there. And it was happening under the Obama administration. President Trump says, I want to stop that. What is there to believe or not believe? What is he saying that is not believable as to the drugs that are pouring over the border in Texas because nobody in Texas wants to shut the border down? What is there that he's saying that's not true?
Well, see, they can't believe it because they've always had in their corner John McCain. John McCain is gone. Mm-hmm. John McCain loved the borders being wide open.
And because I'm sure he profited. A portion of his political campaigns were fueled by drug trafficking indirectly.
Listen, and here's, well, not even indirectly, because here's how it works. And everybody, you guys can go out there and Google this yourself. It's right out there on the internet where the borders are so open and they keep them open. And a lot of these politicians, they're also into real estate. Just about every single one of them have real estate property along all of these border states. And what happens? The drug cartel comes in and they bring in cash, and they pay cash for these big real estate plots of land, houses. They buy it all up and they pay cash for it. They also contribute, and these real estate firms contribute to
the banking industry. They launder money. It's called money laundering. What does the banking
industry do? They
make the contributions to John McCain's political campaign.
Absolutely. And that's what happens here.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't want to shut it down. There's so much money flowing in from South America and in from Mexico, from the drug cartels.
Yeah.
That they actually said that it would disrupt the economy in Texas if they shut down the border. Yeah. And lost all of that money from the drug cartels.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it unequivocally. I'm gonna put this on the screen. Look at down at the bottom. It says Trump is blaming the Democrats for the death of migrant children in the U.S. custody. How dare he say that? He's lying. Let me describe to you what just happened. The CIA went down to South America. Mm-hmm. This isn't the first time. This is what they do. They say, everybody leave, pack up and go. You can go to America. You get free stuff. Yay. And they cause everybody to uproot from the drug-infested communities, the war-torn, right, because of the drug war, communities, to leave their homes. And they're encouraged by the media. Everybody in the caravan saying, oh, the media said we should go. And on social media, on Facebook, we said we could go. Because George Soros is paying for that crap to pump through there. So these people leave, right? Mm-hmm. Then they say, don't worry about it. We get you. It's supposed to take 875 years to walk that many miles, but don't worry about it. You can just jump in a George Soros tractor trailer and we'll give you a ride right to the border.
Right.
What happens when they arrived at the border? President Trump says, you can't come in. And George Soros and his whole cabal of Hillary Clintonites and all those other people that are trying to fight for the children, they abandoned all these people. Mm-hmm. These people haven't had water. They haven't had food. They were abandoned at the front doorstep of the United States of America. They were abandoned by the same people, George Soros, that paid their way. Because all they need is a photo opportunity of the children without their shoes at the front door. That way they can say, oh, look at, they're separating the children. Blah, blah, blah. It's just they're political slaves. That's all they are. Who do I blame for the death of a child having been drugged all the way up from their home in Guatemala to the front doorstep of the United States of America on speculation that they'd be able to get free stuff? I blame the Democrats. They caused the deaths of those babies that were abandoned on the front doorstep of the frickin' border. They were told that they were going to be able to just walk right in, and they're not. It's called illegal immigration. You can't break the law like that. We're going to enforce the law. Because we have a president that says you're not going to be able to go rob with me. The Democrats are saying, oh, you're cutting off the money to the people. They have children. No, I'm trying to stop bank robbery. You got all these people coming in thinking that they can come rob banks. It's illegal. I know, but you can't separate the children. Yeah, the children need to eat.
When you have somebody like Dianne Feinstein, right, and you have somebody like Nancy Pelosi, they all live in that part of the world, and they have millions of dollars. These people are gazillionaires. They have so much money. So why don't they all pitch in $1 million and go down to what city are they in there in Mexico? Tijuana, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't they go to Tijuana, and why don't they just build them a camp? Why don't they put their money where their mouth is? Why don't they come up off of some of their money, I mean, they're not going to miss $1 million, right?
And another thing is, now the other side of the coin, okay? What is President Trump telling them to do and not to do? Stay home. Don't come up here. You're not going to be able to get in.
Well, that's the first line of defense. The first line of defense is that our president says, you
Don't
are
come
not
up here.
going to come into this country illegally.
You're not.
You can come up here and you can come through the port of entry and you can be processed like normal people, but you're not going to climb over the wall and you're going to come over the border outside of the port of entry. Well, you know, when these people are watching Hollywood and looking on the internet and they're listening to all these people, they're thinking, America loves us. We have all of this support. Let's go and do it anyway. They hate this president. And then, of course, when they get up here, the military meets them, right? And the Mountain Minutemen, right? The militia meets them and law enforcement and pushes them back. And then they start crying. A lot of them, Pete, come here, and as you well know from being on the border in 2014, that a lot of them come up here and they're sick when they leave Guatemala, or they're already sick when they leave Venezuela.
Yeah.
And they come up through, and it gets worse as they come along. A lot of them have AIDS. Who was reporting that they had AIDS? Luke Radowski said there were cases of AIDS.
Yes.
Tuberculosis.
Scabies.
All of these people. This was just in the last caravan. He said very, very sick people.
Very sick people. Those people were encouraged, and actually they set up an infrastructure. They need to arrest all of those people that actually encouraged them to come up and then abandon them at the border. Brought them all up here. They stuffed them in camps, didn't provide any food, water, shelter in the end to them. And then some of them are dying now. President Trump is saying that the Democrats are to blame for the deaths of those migrant children in U.S. custody. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. 100%. That's not a lie. I know what's going on.
Somebody who is irrational because they won't keep it. Republicans have been quoted off the record as saying such a thing. I think the Congress and the Republicans and the Democrats in Congress have got to do the best they can to run this country in the absence.
Dude, you better get along with him, because I know a whole bunch of crazies, okay, in the United States of America. And you know what they're called? Americans, okay? We'll run the place. Your whole suit and tie thing is about to come crashing to an end, okay? You think he's crazy? Wait till his voters start taking over. You go after him because he's crazy? Wait till we get a hold of the place. Huh? You want Pete Santilli running the joint? Then you're talking crazy.
That's right.
No, I'm not crazy.
No, don't even say that. We had to go through a lot to prove that you weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the chief executive, who's really a chief executive. And until the Republicans realize that they have an obligation to the country, not just their party, that's not going to happen.
When it comes to this and where the president stands, Susan, where does the president go? Where can he move as far as extricating himself up from this mess? Or is this something that's kind of, it's going to be stuck with him?
Well, the situation at the border is going to be stuck with him. He's gone too far out there. I mean, as far as it comes to what's going on in the government shutdown, it's a different story. But the president chooses to have this be a story that he likes to be associated with. So he owns it, like he owns the shutdown. He's said it many times.
And Charlie
He does own the shutdown. See, what they fail to say, and I'm going to skip over this in the essence of time here because Roger Stone's going to join us, okay? What they fail to say is they love to take them out of context, okay? Kind of like Alex Jones, they just grab that one little excerpt and then hammer down on it, right? And they take them out of context. He says, I want border security. I want a wall. I want to stop illegal aliens, okay? And we're going to get that. And if you want to shut the government down, because you don't want to give that to me, I'll proudly shut the government down for border security. So because they refuse to negotiate, it results in a shutdown. He doesn't want the shutdown. He doesn't want to own that. He wants a border wall. He wants to stop illegal aliens. They don't say it that way. As President Trump says, if you do not want to stop illegal aliens, and you don't want to stop the freaking drug running, and you don't want to stop sex trafficking, I will gladly shut the government down because you don't want to stop that. Okay? That's not what they're saying. They say, he said he's proud of it. Right? He owns it. You know what you own? You own a new pair of shoes if he's going to give them to you for banging them. That's what you own. That's all you own. That's it. Your fake lips, your fake shoes, okay? And your freaking prostitution. Working on behalf of MSNBC. Sucking the Marxist knob. That's what you own.
Is there a sense in the White House that the president is stuck
She's a prostitute,
when it comes to
right?
the shutdown, that lost all leverage when he said that he would take the blame for it, and now he can't sell it as a Democratic shutdown, but yet he can't back down because of his base there. So is it essentially lose, 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 any way you put it?
I'm not sure that I buy that analysis. I think that the shutdown and the narrative that surrounds it, which this is about border security and the wall and his promises and his core campaign arguments, is a good narrative for him relative to all the other ones that might be out there. If we weren't having a shutdown over border security, we would be talking about one of 5 or 6 other stories that are surrounding the Trump maelstrom right now, all of which are worse for him. And so, given the choice of things that are going to...
And they're all fake, dude. They're all fake, the Russia collusion thing, okay? Guess what? He just bitch slapped you into a border shutdown conversation versus a fake Russia conversation. I say, kudos to President Trump. Right? Switch the narrative. Looks like you're running around talking about his topic, aren't you? Right? I'll gladly take that. Thank you very much, President Trump, for doing that. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing the Washington Post? Is that
dominate the media narrative. A prolonged fight over border security is about the best thing that he can hope for.
Yeah, and meanwhile, you got fingers pointing all over the place here. Howard, you got the White House and the president trying to portray all of this, the stalemate, as Nancy Pelosi's fault, because of fear that they're trying to protect her. Democrats are trying to protect her, fearing that if she angers progressives in her caucus as she faces a House speakership election here, that if she cuts a deal before then, it would cost her any votes. Anything to that at all?
I bet you I could change that one chick right here, this one right here. I could switch her into a Republican for a new pair of shoes. What do you think?
I think you're probably right.
Oh, I know so.
She'd be like Chunk Yogurt, right? Chunk Yogurt.
She'd switch in a heartbeat. President Trump needs to get her a new pair of shoes so she can start speaking Republican.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that, too. A lot of these people that are raging progressives right now
were conservatives.
They were raging conservatives, and then they got offered a little more money to become, get
her
shows.
Some Jimmy Choos. Boom. Done deal. She's, That's right. Let's make America great again. Right?
She'd be like, making America great.
Incredible. I mean, everybody screamed Nancy Pelosi before the election. We picked up 40 seats. So, at some point this gets old. This is like all those ridiculous investigations. Trey Gowdy and what's his name, Darren, whatever his name is, from California, was running the intelligence committees.
They just cling to their criminals. They keep ignoring the whole Clinton Foundation thing. Now I'm hearing about the Pelosi Foundation thing, taking money from Saudi Arabia. That seems to be very interesting, of course. All right, moving right along here. Elizabeth Warren announces her plans. Yeah, that's right. I want President Trump. I want President Trump to go up against Pocahontas.
No kidding.
All right, that's exactly what I want. I'm going to just take a scan through. Zero Hedge. Turkish TV broadcast footage of Jamal Khashoggi's body being removed by the Saudis. Really? That's interesting. I'm going to go click that. That's pretty fascinating if there's surveillance footage of that. Okay. Let me just play this. This is the first time I'm seeing this. I didn't see this. This actually came up. Let's see what it looks like here. Okay. How do we know that it's Khashoggi? I don't know. What was that? Did you see anything?
It was a guy carrying garbage bags.
Oh, the guy was chopped up that bad?
Well, they said they cut him up into little pieces, but I don't know about you, but look at those garbage bags really close. Okay. First of all, anybody knows that if you're going to put a body in something like that, first of all, the body's going to be like really heavy, and I mean super heavy.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what a garbage bag looks like when you put super heavy stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you go if you go carry a pork roast from the grocery store.
It's going to stretch out. No, the bag is going to stretch out. It's going to be elongated. Why are those trash bags all fluffy? It looks like they're full of leaves or something.
I don't know about that. How legitimate is that?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. But Scotty the Squiddy from South Dakota, he said he dropped a $4.99 super chat. And
Thank you, Scotty.
He said Trump is exposing all of these mainstream media liars.
Yeah.
People are waking up to their BS. Their lies are becoming more and more transparent. They're unhinged.
You know, I want to ask a serious question about, okay, so we're waking up. Everybody's waking up. And we have lots of memes, right?
Uh-huh.
Like the Q Patriots are sharing memes, and there's a great awakening. And we're just letting them just get away with all this stuff. I mean, and I'm saying at what point, when do we start throwing on our red vests and our red hats and start taking care of freaking business? Okay? Yeah. Start taking care of business. We need to revolt against these Marxists. They are steamrolling us from our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, our election system, our education system. They're killing babies at the Planned Parenthood. At what point do we say enough is enough and start stopping them? Because right now, patriots, I hate to say it, they're driving a freaking Marxist tank right up your front side. And nobody's resisting. Nobody's resisting.
Yeah, of course.
Am I making a point here?
Yes.
It sounds very uncomfortable, but it's the truth. It's the truth. This is not a tough thing. Everyone's like, we're in for some tough times. No, we're not. We're not in for tough times. You guys are easy. All they need to do is just do this.
Yeah.
Right? And you just fall over.
What's going to be really tough is going to be like pockets of toughness. Do you know what I mean by that? I mean, there's going to be pockets of people who are going to be...
Where do you see them right now? There needs to be pockets of resistance to what?
That are going to be very resistant, but it's going to be like a household of people, and they're just going to get steamrolled because people on the right cannot get together.
Oh yeah, that's all we need is just a couple.
And that's what's worrisome.
Couple crazies running around, and then guess what they're going to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to say, "Oh, I just watched Alex Jones, and I watched Pete Santilli, and he said enough is enough." Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine?
He said it's time to take action. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about harming people, and I'm definitely not talking about somebody going it alone. I'm saying, when do we get thousands, if not tens of thousands of people shoulder to shoulder with red vests and surround the White House and say, you have to go through, we will stand vigil here, okay? They start making a move towards Trump. Get your red vests ready to go.
Yep, people are going to have to unite. If they don't, we're going to take him out.
That's
the end of it.
Nobody, do not step out of line. Don't go grabbing a gun and going after somebody. They want that. They love Got it.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Christmas is always a time for shiny things, isn't it? Tinsel, glitter, candles, glossy wrapping paper, and glittering snow are all part of Christmas time. It's these things that make it all so special, and because you don't see them every day, you appreciate them that much more. And then they're gone. Something shiny that won't be gone once Christmas is over is Noble Gold's solid silver Trump 2020 Freedom Coin. You've probably seen the website, TrumpCoin2020.com. Since they minted these back in July, Noble Gold has sold thousands of these beautiful coins as collector's items for investments and even to add to IRAs and 401k rollovers. Yes, you heard that right. Because these are 0.999% fine silver, the IRS even allows them to be included in your retirement fund. Now, how about that? Of course, there's a Christmas special offer on right now. To find out what it is and how you can get a hold of a very special gift for your favorite Trump supporter, go to TrumpCoin2020.com and enter offer code PeteSantilly to receive free shipping if you buy 3 coins or more. Don't wait for this offer to end. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and don't forget the offer code PeteSantilly and make this your Christmas to shine.
From sweet and spicy to fiery, bold, and full of flavor, Brother Doc's is not your typical beef jerky. Never dry and brittle. This jerky comes beautifully packaged, with large cuts of meat that are moist, tender, and chewy from beginning to end. Brother Doc's recipes contain the highest quality ingredients that result in innovative flavor masterpieces, like orange teriyaki, barbecue mesquite, and their signature bold pepper flavors properly named Volcano and Burnout. Moderate pricing and great flavor will have you in beef jerky heaven. Go to sbn.buzz/brotherdocs to place your order so Doc knows you heard about him here on the Pete Santilli Show. It's true what they say about Brother Doc's beef jerky. One bite and you'll be a believer too.
Hello there. I noticed that you're one of the people who supports Pete Santilli on his webpage. I just want you to know that thousands of us are very, very angry, and soon that's going to be 100,000, perhaps even millions of us, very, very angry at this man who said that he would like to Hillary Clinton in the...
What difference at this point does it make?
You know, if crooked Hillary Clinton were up here and they had this kind of a crowd, the cameras would be showing the crowd all day long.
You are now tuned into the Truth Frequency.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The following program may not be suitable for millennials under the age of 40. Parental discretion is strongly advised.
And now, the most offensive radio talk show host on the planet, Pete Santilli.
Okay, right now it's top of the hour, and we're waiting for Mr. Roger Stone. As you can imagine, he has an extremely, extremely busy schedule. We've been missing each other here the past 24 hours because of his schedule. He's got a lot of legal work, but this gives me an opportunity for a proper introduction. And I'm gonna introduce. We'll connect with him. He'll be joining me here in just a couple of minutes. So he's already sent me a message saying that he was going to be on. So he's just slightly delayed. But Mr. Roger Stone is a seasoned. If you haven't heard of him, he's a seasoned political operative that has been in politics for the past 40 plus years. He's a speaker. He's a pundit. He's a New York Times bestselling author. He's been featured in the Netflix documentary, Get Me Roger Stone. If you haven't seen that, that'll give you an idea of who Roger Stone really is. He's a veteran of 10 national presidential campaigns. He served as a senior campaign ad to 4 Republican presidents, including President Nixon, President Reagan, and most recently, President Donald J. Trump. Mr. Stone served as the chairman of Donald Trump's Presidential Exploratory Committee in 2000 and strategic consultant in 2012. And as an outspoken libertarian, he is the author of the New York Times bestseller, The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. Also one of my favorites, which is The Clintons' War on Women. There's nobody that knows about the Clintons' war on women better than Roger Stone himself. Now, as we await Mr. Roger Stone's appearance here, I'm going to actually switch up and I'm going to cover story. This actually gives me an opportunity to cover some of the news stories because of the flood of information that is out there about Roger Stone. Here on News Target, and this is actually a website run by Mike Adams. Okay, this was published up there. This was published by J.D. Hayes, which is one of Mike Adams's great writers. An attorney for Trump confidant Roger Stone demands the House Intelligence Committee that they release the full transcript of his 2017 testimony. And as we know, Roger Stone right now being targeted by the deep state. But an attorney for Trump confidant Roger Stone has sent a letter to the House Intelligence Committee demanding that the panel release the full testimony of his client, which he gave the panel in September 2017 during a closed-door session. In his December 20th letter, which was addressed to committee chairman Devin Nunes, attorney Grant J. Smith said that it was imperative that Stone's 4-hour testimony be released publicly so his client could combat allegations that he lied under oath to the panel. Now, there's a couple of other elements here, and they're critical elements, and I'm going to go on the screen here, and Deb, if you'd like to join me for commentary, because we're going to, of course, speak to Mr. Stone. I'm just waiting on word here. I have some concerns about Dr. Jerome Corsi and the inner workings of what's happening with Dr. Jerome Corsi. I'm actually going to put it on the screen right here. Roger Stone has published an article here saying that Corsi's statement is devoid of any logic. Now, when he comes on, we're going to hear from his words as limited as I can be with the amount of questioning. I'm very, very well aware of what's going on with Dr. Corsi, and I'm probably going to repeat myself here. But the stuff that's coming out of Corsi's mouth right now relative to this investigation, Roger Stone is actually questioning that Jerry Corsi's claim that I needed after-the-fact cover for my now iconic Podesta tweet on August 21st is devoid of any logic. Now, picture this. You ready? I'm gonna have to repeat this, and Roger Stone's going to be joining me here, hopefully momentarily. Hold on one second. Let me see. That might be him. Might be ready to go. Stand by. Hold on a second. He might be coming on here momentarily, so everybody stand by. Ah, there he is. Okay, fantastic. All right, so anyways, as we carry on, go ahead and get settled in, sir, and then I'll bring you up here. But let me just finish this quick thought that I said this before, and it probably makes people feel uncomfortable, including you, Deb Jordan. When I say that if Vladimir Putin walked up to me without a shirt, or let's say he rode up to me without a shirt on a horse and said to me, Peter Santilli, I have Hillary Clinton's emails, right? And I'm going to go ahead and provide them to WikiLeaks, right? Mm-hmm. I'd love to have a conversation, and you can call it collusion all you want. But I'm going to say thank you very much for exposing the fact that these are a bunch of pedocrats, a bunch of criminals. We learned a lot about what was disclosed in all those emails, right?
So who in the media wouldn't want to get their hands on that? Who
would not want to? Okay, They're calling it Russia collusion, okay? I call it exposing the crimes of the Clinton crime family.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, I thought that's
I'm
what it was all about.
Vladimir Putin. I'm not saying I'm going to trust him and everything. As a matter of fact, put your shirt back on, right?
Right.
Get back up on that horse, and thanks very much for that thumb drive. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this whole Russia collusion thing, if there's context by investigative journalists, for instance, by Roger Stone, all right? And he's got a lead. And somebody says that they're going to be releasing information that Hillary Clinton's been committing crimes. We have some indication through the emails that they're laundering money through the Clinton Foundation. I say yay Roger Stone and yay everyone else. Now this thing is spun off because they want to go after President Trump, of course, to make it seem like, and in fact, and I'm gonna segue to Mr. Stone because I'm sure he can comment on this. Roger Stone, welcome back to the Pete Santilli Show. I have already done my introduction of you, by the way, and I'm going to say President Trump met with Gorbachev in the late 80s. But they're calling it Russia collusion. But I'm going to say, if anything, President Trump was unsuccessful since the late 80s in getting his skyscraper in Moscow. He's been talking to the Russians for how many years now, Roger Stone? How long has he been talking to the Russians?
Well, Pete, I think most Americans understand that our real global rival, the real country that is challenging us, stealing our technology, trying to manipulate their currency to our disadvantage, is the Chinese. The Chinese are far more of a problem than the Russians. And Syria, for those who are unfamiliar with the map, abuts Russia, just as Mexico abuts the United States, which is why the Russians have an inherent direct interest in what happens to Syria, which is on the other side of the globe from the United States. So this whole Russophobia, which is whipped up by those on the left, is kind of hypocritical and almost humorous, because when we were anti-communist and anti-Russian, they said we were extremists. It's an excuse. Let's be clear. If Donald Trump said the sky was blue, the American left would say, no, it's green. If Donald Trump said we should reform our criminal justice system so that people who are convicted of a first-time nonviolent crime don't have to spend 15 years in jail and ruin their lives, black Democrat liberals would say, no, I'm against that because Donald Trump is for it. It is a manifestation of Trump derangement syndrome. There's an epidemic of it specifically at the New York Times, a once great newspaper, which is now literally unreadable. I mean, suitable for toilet paper, out of their minds, delirious, insane. Front page story, news analysis, that means spin. Trump has angered both the left and the right in his decision to withdraw from Syria. No, he has delighted the American people, and he's angered that thin group of people on the left and the right who are making millions of dollars out of our involvement in Syria.
Yeah, yes, sir. And, before we get into, because there's a lot to talk about, and we have, can you stay with me up until the 27-minute mark? Is that okay?
Yes, we're doing good. Is our sound level okay here?
We're doing good. Your voice sounds terrible. I hope you're feeling better.
No, I picked up a little cold because, I got to be honest with you, Pete, I probably drank a little too much Russian vodka.
You did?
So arrest me. I admit it. I like the Stolichnaya. I'm sure Robert Mueller, who is monitoring this broadcast, probably is putting it down in his little book, another count in Stone's indictment. He loves Russian vodka.
It's Stolichnaya, not Veselnikskaya, right?
Exactly.
Veselnikskaya, that's right. All right, so I want to ask you this because relative to the New York Times and the media, isn't it disgusting the PR campaign? They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars, obviously, to clean their act up because they're a bunch of liars. But the media, can you imagine, on New Year's Eve, they're going to be dropping the ball in Times Square. The media is going to be featured, and we'll be dropping the ball today. I'm just almost nauseous thinking about that. The media, which is, of course, the enemy of the American people, is going to be bringing in the new year. what worse way could we ever bring in the new year?
I think the real problem is that through the last 4 decades, they've had monopoly control of the American political narrative. If it didn't happen on NBC, ABC, or CBS, it wasn't on CNN, and to a great degree Fox, it simply didn't happen, which is why they have always been able to sell false narratives to the American people. A couple examples. Lee Harvey Oswald killed John Kennedy and he acted alone. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. The people in Iraq attacked the United States on 9/11. Those are all false narratives, but the media got used to having the ability to dictate lies to the American people without contradiction. Now, because the rise of a vibrant, robust alternative media based in the internet, we no longer have to believe the lies of CBS. If you don't believe what you hear at CBS, you can go to InfoWars or Pete Santilli or Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity or Rush Limbaugh or Mike Savage, and you can get an alternative set of facts. And you can choose what to believe. They hate that. They despise that. Like cockroaches, they run from sunlight, which is why they have engaged in this massive campaign of censorship. I sat there, I went right into the bowels of the beast, into the House Judiciary Committee, and I saw this guy, Sundar Pai, the head of Google, perjure himself under oath, lie over and over and over again. And then I saw paid-for courtiers like Jerry Nadler, whose testimony that day, whose statement that he read, was actually written for him by Google lobbyists. Throw the guy softball questions and claim that censorship on the internet of conservatives is a right-wing conspiracy theory. This, despite the leaked memos from Google, the leaked videos from Google, and what we see with our own eyes. So it is, it is a fraudulent process. I spent 40 years in the corroded rectum of the two-party system. I have seen firsthand the fact that today in Washington, if you have money and the right lobbyists and the right attorneys, you can purchase anything.
Anything. Yes, sir. And I have some concerns now. In the past, I want to spend our conversation talking about this, and then, of course, your recent call upon the House Intelligence Committee to release the full transcript. I want you to talk about that as well. But I was talking about Jerome Corsi. I mean, you can even see Mueller with tens of millions of dollars. He can purchase just about any narrative that he can craft and coerce himself. Now, I gave some kudos to Jerome Corsi, and I've seen him take a turn for the worse. Here's my commentary here, and you can speak to this because I don't have an inside track on anything. I heard Alex Jones say, well before when Corsi first got caught up in this whole thing, I heard Alex Jones speak to the potential for somebody that doesn't have either they have a substance abuse problem or potentially a mental incapacitation. And I'm just thinking to myself, have they exploited this Corsi guy? Because now I'm starting to hear that his narrative is changing slightly as it relates to your message about Podesta's time in the barrel. So I want you to speak to that because I'm really concerned about Jerome Corsi's mental capacity.
Now, I want to explain this because I know Dr. Corsi has many admirers among your audience, but they need to know precisely what is going on.
Yes.
72-year-old Jerry Corsi sat for 40 hours of browbeating by Mueller's investigators, turned over all of his emails, or at least what he said were all of his emails. And the prosecutors suggested two narratives to him that are entirely false, but which he eagerly embraced. One was contradicting the following narrative. About August 20th, I saw Paul Manafort getting the daylights kicked out of him by the mainstream media because of his Eastern European business activities in Ukraine and Russia. I knew that Podesta's brother, Tony Podesta, had represented the exact same Ukrainian political party as Manafort, and I thought, therefore, the coverage was unfair. Corsi pointed out to me, which I did not know, that the Podesta brothers had an extremely lucrative business from the oligarchs around Vladimir Putin. Gas, aluminum, uranium, banking, multi-million dollars in fees. I said, Jerry, how do you know that? He said, it's public information. Peter Schweitzer wrote a piece for the New York Post on July 31st called From Russia with Money. I looked it up. It was devastating. The Panama Papers, written in April of 2016, were also revelatory about those same deals. And then Schweitzer wrote a piece on August 14th reporting that Tony Podesta represented the same political party in Ukraine as Manafort. I asked Corsi if he would write it up in a memo for me. He said he would. I then tweeted, it will soon be the Podesta's time in the barrel, essentially telegraphing my intention to take this public information and give it to a number of reporters, since it had never gotten wide media coverage. Corsi supplied that memo to me on August 31st. Now, Aaron Zelinsky, Rod Rosenstein's right-hand man, who was recommended to the Mueller hit squad by Rosenstein, a violation of Department of Justice regulations, by the way, suggested to Corsi that that memo was a cover story for the fact that Corsi had told me that Podesta's emails had been stolen and that Jerry had supplied them to me. That is a lie. There is no evidence to that effect because it never happened. I had no knowledge that anyone had boosted Mr. Podesta's emails or that their publication was pending at WikiLeaks. So in my tweet, the Podesta's time in the barrel, often truncated to drop the word the. New York Times, CNN, Wall Street Journal, they drop the word the to make it appear like I'm referring to one person, John Podesta, and trying to claim that this is an allusion to the theft of Podesta's emails. For knowledge. It is not.
Yeah.
But my question is, since my tweet was not controversial for another 6 weeks, no social media chatter, no media coverage, no congressional investigation at that time, no Mueller investigation, my question's obvious. A cover up for what? What would I have been covering up? Not the fact that the American people were going to learn that Podesta's emails had been stolen, because I myself did not know that. So Jerry eagerly took on this false narrative. They also persuaded him to say that I knew about the NBC Billy Bush grabbed them by the genitals video in advance, and that I urged Jerry in October to contact Assange and tell Assange to move up his disclosures to distract from that story. That's whole cloth. That didn't happen. First of all, by October, it was very clear that Corsi had no contact with Assange. And secondarily, I didn't have advance notice of the NBC revelations. You punched me in the stomach when I learned about it. I heard about it on the street in Manhattan. I was low on cell phone battery. I rushed to my apartment to get on a computer and find out what it was all about. So Dr. Corsi eagerly embraced these two lies, was prepared to sit in the dock and say them against me until Mueller, realizing that he had to bolster these lies, said, oh, and by the way, Corsi, you're going to have to testify that you gave Stone Podesta's emails, but don't worry, we guarantee you no jail time.
You know,
it was then and only then that Dr. Corsi decided he wasn't going on.
You know, a couple of things I want you to address here. I watched an interview that I don't know if you're familiar with Valuetainment. Patrick Bet-David did an interview with Alex Jones, and Alex, I thought in a couple of segments did a really good job to expose, for instance, regarding the Podestas and the emails in those Clinton emails that went through WikiLeaks. In all of this minutia that gets caught up in transcripting and everybody's narratives and all these articles back and forth and these ticky-tack, what do you call it, perjury traps? I'm calling them ticky-tack perjury traps because that's all they have. They don't have Russia collusion. But ultimately, when you peel all of that back, most people don't even know how significant those emails were as it relates to the potential to expose this code talk, this pedophilia network that's going on. It's very, very real. That the information contained in those emails, it's so significant that the best way to wash that away is to confuse everybody with all this perjury stuff with,
that's exactly right. To create a controversy about how the emails were obtained in order to distract from the content of the emails.
Yes, sir.
Can anybody say that the material that Assange published was inaccurate or inauthentic? No. In 11 years he's been in business, no one has ever successfully challenged the accuracy or the authenticity of anything he has published. Can they say that at the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times?
Certainly not.
Post? No. So in order to distract the American people from the content and the evidence of the venal corruption and immorality of the contained in those emails, we've created this phony narrative. Now, many in the mainstream media and many in the establishment want us to believe that it is an established, indisputable fact that Julian Assange is a Russian asset. Mr. Mueller even put it in a indictment that he knows will never go to trial. So it is not a fact until a U.S. court calls it a fact. Assange is not a Russian asset. They can't prove it. If they want to indict me, they will be forced to try to prove that in court. Because communications with Assange, even though I had no direct communications with him, is not illegal until they prove that he is a foreign power. And they can't, number one. Number two, Adam Schiff, the Schiff head himself, single most dangerous huckster, con man, fraud, who's ever graced the United States Congress, says that based on recent news reports, Roger Stone's contacts with WikiLeaks were more extensive than he told the committee. No, you lying bullshiffer. They are not. Prove it. I'm calling you out. Prove it. Show me the evidence. Oh, you're speaking of Jerry Corsi? He had no contact with WikiLeaks. What are you talking about? I had to kick this guy's ass back to Burbank. He's such a fraud. A fraud. But I will be breaking down his crimes for the American people exceedingly soon. We'll see who the liar is, and we'll see who's telling the truth, Pete.
Exactly my point here, because now we have, and I'm looking at it, I have seen nothing but, what we need to start doing, as Giuliani says, it's time for us in 2019 to start going on the offensive against this special counsel, Robert Mueller, who has a long train of abuses against the American people. We already, from BCCI, the 9/11 investigation, the cover-up, all of that stuff. Anyways, we could go on and on about that. We need a special counsel to investigate the special counsel. Now, I also believe that this man is exploiting, potentially, the either mental incapacitation or somebody who is suffering from something he needs to seek help with, that he may not even have the ability. Jerome Corsi, he's exploiting Jerome Corsi. And how could he be legally certifying an affidavit to attest to any facts related to you if he's in that condition, sir?
Yeah, I agree. Look, there's a number of people in InfoWars who I'm certain would testify about the mental incapacity of Corsi and other issues that I think bear directly on his credibility. But it is, what's clear here is they have no Russian collusion. They could find no WikiLeaks collaboration, and therefore they are attempting to manufacture it.
Yeah.
Their first witness, Randy Credico, is a psycho. He was the source told me first about the significance and the October timing.
Roger, I have a hard break here because we're on Truth Frequency Radio. Do me a favor, just stay for a couple minutes on the other side of the break. Is that okay? Because I don't want to end on this note. Yep. We'll be right back, you guys.
Hey everyone, Pete Santilli here. I want to let you know that this broadcast is brought to you in part by our friends at Rugged Reserves.
Sorry about that. I'll be right with you.
Is a must-have for every e-militia member. Just think about it. When you pack your bug-out bag, you want
we'll wrap up here 5 more minutes if that's okay.
To a cell phone
sure.
charger,
I get a lot of feedback. So
are you getting a lot?
Well, you can get all of that and more.
Oh,
jeez. Patriot flashlight.
As long as you can't hear it on your end, it's fine.
Miles away, and there's an
I can't. It sounds good at my end. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I think it's through Skype.
Even comes with an emergency siren. And you know what the best part is? It's solar powered. So this bad boy will always have power when you need it most. It really does make the perfect Christmas gift. So get one for your bug out bag, your car, your wife's car, for your home. Just visit
Let me try a quick reconnection.
I'll leave the link below this video. Use promo code P20 to save 20% off your purchase. That's patriotflashlight.com. Enter promo code P20. The link is below this video.
From sweet and spicy to fiery, bold, and full of flavor, Brother Doc's is not your typical beef jerky. Never dry and brittle. This jerky comes beautifully packaged with large cuts of meat that are moist.
A little bit better?
We won't know till I speak.
Okay.
Brother Doc's recipes contain the highest quality ingredients that result in innovative flavor masterpieces. Like orange teriyaki, barbecue mesquite, and their signature bold pepper flavors properly named Volcano and Burnout. Moderate pricing and great flavor will have you in beef jerky heaven. Go to sbn.buzz/brotherdocs to place your order so Doc knows you heard about him here on the Pete Santilli Show. It's true what they say about Brother Doc's beef jerky. One bite and you'll be a believer too.
It's amazing how people have been raving about Aya Life all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with Aya Life, it's a 99% pure CBD oil. But the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with Aya Life. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to ayalife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's ayalife.com. AYALife.com.
And we're back, and I just did a connection just to make sure that our audio is okay. Roger Stone joins me back once again to wrap up our discussion. I didn't want to end our conversation on that note. I wanted to bring him back. And also, I have an important question to ask him about some stuff that's on Stone Cold Truth. There's a new item. Actually, if you go to Stone Cold Truth, you click that shop button in the upper right-hand corner, and you can get your own Roger Stone, signed by Mr. Roger Stone himself, and that's there it is.
There it is. So Pete, this is, I think most people know that the 2.5-year witch hunt that I've been subjected to has literally driven me and my family to the brink of bankruptcy. I lost the health insurance and life insurance for my family in December because I simply could not pay the premiums. Every dollar I have to scrape up goes to pay lawyers. I'm being investigated by the Senate Intelligence Committee. I'm being investigated by the Senate Judiciary Committee. I'm being investigated by the National Committee. I faced several other harassment lawsuits over the 2016 election. And then I, of course, have Robert Mueller digging into every aspect of my personal life.
Unbelievable.
This has systematically destroyed what was a very successful business. So I am living on the proceeds of the 5 books that I have written. and I came up with the idea of personalizing these stones with my signature. This is therefore a Roger Stone. Now, historically, Pete, if you check, we did some research, this is an exact facsimile of the very stone that little David used to take down Goliath.
There you go.
And we are, of course, advocating its use as a paperweight. So I put these up for sale on the Stone Cold Truth. And frankly, they weren't really moving. And then Talking Points Memo and Rolling Stone and the Washingtonian and the Observer all wrote stories mocking me for the sale of this novelty item. Thanks a lot, chumps.
That's great.
$10,000 worth of stones.
Oh, that is great.
Just takes us through Christmas Day. I can't keep up with the orders. My wrist actually hurts because I do sign every single one personally.
That is.
So if you go to stonecoldtruth.com, click on shop, scroll down, and you will see them. I am happy to ship yours out immediately.
Yeah.
It's a little piece of history.
Yes, sir.
Now, the folks at the Observer, who are wise-ass, snotty, elitist liberals, went to several presidential and political memorabilia companies and said, are these stones really worth anything? And they were said, oh, no, that in a couple of years they could be worth, $30. Well, folks, these are $10. That's 3 times your investment. That's 3 times the ROI. Not so bad. So sell your General Motors stock.
Yes.
And stones.
Where are you going to get such a return, right?
I think you'll beat the market. That's for sure.
Here's my point, and then we'll conclude on this note. I'll let you make final commentary because I'm watching this, and as you know, my legal case was, it was huge, and I made special commentary too, by the way, about David Knight's involvement in covering that story. He had so many guns pointed at him, so many guns that he probably doesn't even realize it, and now we're saying prayers for his speedy recovery. He is certainly an American hero and a much more important journalist than most people realize. But, sir,
he's a great journalist and a good man, and we pray for his speedy recovery.
Absolutely. Now, as it relates to your legal case, sir, I see 2 things right now, just directly related to you. I see a prosecutor, like the same one that I had, withholding evidence, scrubbing evidence, destroying evidence. We have a special prosecutor, Mueller, that I want to know about those missing texts. I want to read them and find out if there was anything related to bias between Stroke and Page about Roger Stone while they were in that office. I understand that those text messages have now been removed, sir. I'm saying this out in the open. You don't even need to respond to it because you have a legal case. But I want you, through, let's say, StoneDefenseFund.com and your legal case, to fight this battle and to go after Mueller and have him brought down for prosecutorial misconduct and have him eating freaking bologna with Stephen Myrie out there with Gloria Navarro in Nevada. What do you think about that?
Well, here's what we do know. In May of 2016, a man came to see me using the name Henry Greenberg. He was an ethnic Russian. I had forgotten this because it was a 15-minute meeting in which he offered to sell me dirt on Hillary Clinton for $2 million. And I laughed in his face. Mm-hmm. And then he said, well, it's not your money I want. It's Donald Trump's money. There, he gave away the game. We now know that Mr. Greenberg was in the country on an informant's visa, courtesy of the FBI office in Miami. We also know that Peter Strzok visited that office shortly before Mr. Greenberg came to see me. He came to see me at roughly the same time that Joseph Mifsud was approaching George Papadopoulos, and about the time that Stephen Halper was approaching Carter Page. So a man working for James Comey at the direction of Peter Strzok was approaching a Trump intimate in May, prior to the time they say their investigation into Russian association with Donald Trump had been opened. Adam Schiff has no interest in who Mr. Greenberg is. He's only interested in why I didn't recall this meeting. Well, the meeting was innocuous in the fact that nothing improper happened at the meeting. Nothing improper or illegal happened as a result of the meeting. The greater question isn't why I didn't remember this. The greater question is, why was the FBI sending an informant to try to entrap me and to compromise Donald Trump in May of 2016? That's the question they don't want to confront. Here's the big enchilada, Pete. When did their informal investigation into Donald Trump and Russia open? Answer that question.
Yes.
Answer that question,
That's
FBI.
right. Mm-hmm.
We're going to get the answer to that question in court if they are dumb enough to try to charge me on some trumped-up, bogus charge.
That's what I'm talking about. And Roger Stone, that's what I'm saying right now. I'm looking at this just as an outsider, and I said to myself, it's not just Roger Stone back on his heels. Of course, they're going to come after him. He's a target of the deep state. Now I'm looking at this like Roger Stone's case is so critical right now, potentially going after Robert Mueller and exposing prosecutorial misconduct, the withholding of evidence that might be related to you, exculpatory, and now your defense is critical on behalf of the American public to expose this corruption, sir.
It's using the power of discovery to force open what the FBI was doing.
Yes.
Do they really want to go down that road? Mr. Mueller should be prosecuted for the destruction of evidence. If I had erased all of my emails, you can bet they would be prosecuting me. I have erased nothing. I have deleted nothing. I have 1 million emails, but if those jerks at the U.S. Senate Judiciary Intelligence Committee think I'm going to hand them over so they can violate my Fourth Amendment rights and go fishing, they've got another thing coming. By the way, I'll give them all my documents. When every member on both parties on those committees waives their congressional immunity from lawsuit, in which case I will sue Mark Warner so fast your head would spin. He has said flatly, Roger Stone was a Russian spy. That is a defamatory statement, you POS. I know a lot about you, too. I had to get you in a courtroom, but you hide behind your Senate immunity. So you can defame U.S. citizens without any basis of fact. It is the lowest form of character assassination, Pete.
You know, in 2019, do you think that your case, and I'm going to use the appropriate term, is your case going to be the tip of the spear? Because at first I saw, Corsi and his case and the way he's coming at it. If Corsi is Mueller's secret weapon, I say you're going to start crushing the deep state. Then, if your case is allowed to proceed fairly, because the government has almost unlimited resources to put you back on your heel and outspend you. We already know this. But we, the people, must push through this thing and expose Mueller for what he is a deep state prosecutor that has committed misconduct. In 2019, do you think you can take this thing and just bust it wide open, be the tip of the spear on it?
This is really simple. President Donald Trump needs to direct Acting Attorney General Whitaker to appoint a special counsel in the matter of Uranium One, and they should deliver a subpoena to Mr. Mueller, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Susan Rice, and everybody else. You could have them indicted within 48 hours, and then the tables would be turned. The real Russian collusion is by them. The real criminals are them. It is time to investigate the investigators.
Absolutely. And Roger, I thank you very much for staying with me for the extra time. And as this case proceeds, so we're now transitioning from 2018, including President Trump being, of course, back on his heels. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we go on, and I say the offensive, with truth in our hands and righteousness, of course, going forward to expose these deep state criminals from the Clinton cabal to the Mueller's, being their protector, of course. But, sir, we will continue to follow your case. Go ahead. Final commentary.
People who want to help can go to StoneDefenseFund.com. Now, do not put in RogerStoneDefenseFund.com because that will take you to a Planned Parenthood site. This is a little trick by David Brock and the twits at Media Matters. It's StoneDefenseFund.com. We've had a very sparse Christmas here in the Stone household. You can see stories online that Stone is worth $20 million. He's wealthy. Those are planted. That's disinformation. I need the help of every American patriot, and I need it today. Thank you, Pete. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. God bless you, too. Happy New Year to you, and we will continue to cover this story. I know we're going to have great success in 2019. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
Many thanks.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really glad we had the opportunity to spend the extra time with Mr. Roger Stone, because I'm telling you right now, we have a tremendous opportunity here. You just heard it right now. We were talking about prosecutorial misconduct, okay? Now, those words that were spoken should hit right in the loins of Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller, if you want to know what prosecutorial misconduct looks like, and if you want to know whether or not I'm credible in that regard, go talk to Stephen Myrie. Okay? Ask Stephen Myrie how it feels when he gets exposed. And the judge, who is a brown-robed, a La Raza judge named Gloria Navarro, is forced by somebody like, we'll say, Roger Stone, that's going to come forward and say, you're missing texts. Have any of those texts that are missing, are they relative to my case? And they're missing, and you destroyed them. Case dismissed, Mr. Mueller. Go take your seat right next to Stephen Myrie in Las Vegas. You thought you had a case, but you screwed it up with corruption. And this could conceivably happen through none other than Roger Stone's case. He is going to be, please pardon the expression, because you know we've heard this term come from, and he is, I laugh, I love the guy. He's like a, I've just listened to his voice for decades. You hear him say the tip of the spear. I'm laughing just because I'm using that term. But Roger Stone is potentially the tip of the spear on going after Robert Mueller's prosecutorial misconduct. I know it makes you feel uncomfortable because, the whole deep state boogeyman, is, right? Sure. I got some Roger Stones, okay?
Right?
I want a bag of Roger Stones.
We need some of those.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes. What say you? Do you agree with me? He's potentially at the tip of the spear, or are you,
there's no doubt
afraid
about
to
it.
say anything?
No.
You want to put your fire suit on?
Listen.
What?
There's no doubt about it, and that they're coming after Roger Stone. I mean, it's almost an everyday occurrence. It's all over the mainstream wicked media, right? And so, I mean, how you'd have to be living under a Roger Stone, under a rock, not to know that he is number one. They want him in a really bad way. And why do they? Because Roger Stone figured out something, right? Roger Stone figured it out. Roger Stone knows how to get presidents elected. He's done so many, many times. And they're pissed off at Roger Stone because he got help get Donald Trump elected. And that's why they're going after him.
That's right. His legal case, I'm going to tell you something right now. I have a stake in this thing. Okay, I have a stake in this thing. StoneDefenseFund.com. I have a stake. Why? Because I'm an American. It's incumbent upon me to keep Roger Stone's case going. Why? Because he's the tip of the spear. Why do I want him to be the tip of the spear and go after him? We're talking about the entire country here. Mm-hmm. If Roger Stone can take Robert Mueller and just bend him over the proverbial prosecutorial misconduct horse, right? This is him right here. It's going to happen. We can't afford not to support his legal case. Don't you wish that Roger Stone could just call up the Treasury like Mueller does and says, I need $10 million more? What do you think? Huh? That's what Mueller has at his disposal. Okay. Let me stop, pause, breathe, support us as well. It's easy. I'm actually hearing from a lot of people that are talking about their computers acting weird. And there's stuff that you may know on its face about what's going on with your computer. The stuff that you see on the front side is the easy part. It's the stuff on the back side. For instance, listening in on your conversations. They're getting your stuff on the backside if they have your IP address. I'm not going to go into the long drawn out thing, but I just did a segment and I uncovered through a story, these two Chinese hackers went through, just picture this. You gave your information. You have your IP address listed with the U.S. government. You trust them. You go to the Social Security website. You get your stuff done, right? You go to these top websites like Amazon and stuff. They have your IP address. These hackers didn't hack into you. You're not going to have Chinese hackers, right, hacking directly into your computer. You know what they've done? They've gone to the government and hacked the government. They hacked, and we're talking about state-sponsored stuff. And they have your IP address. That's all they need. They don't even need your passwords. It could be super highly encrypted. All they need is that list of IP addresses. They start hitting your IP addresses, and then they can get your passwords. Do you understand that? You need to mask that thing because these hackers were just busted and indicted on the 20th. It was announced. Okay? They have these IP addresses right now. What is your IP address? That's your physical location. If they have your IP address, they can get it. Now, I'm not going to talk about what I had to do this morning, okay? But this is an example. Let's say, for instance, in the morning, they start hitting us and our stuff goes on the blink and you can't hear the audio and they're doing something, maybe a DDoS attack if they get the IP address. The stuff that I need to do to get around that, at 3 o'clock, notice I come, and we're running pretty smoothly, aren't we?
Yes.
Because there are workarounds to that. They can hack into your stuff. Here's your workaround right now. You're going to go to virtualshield.com/Pete, and you're going to say, I'm going to do a workaround. They have my IP address. I'm going to tell you this right now. The U.S. government, okay, was hacked into by these Chinese state-sponsored hackers. You now have governments that are running around with your IP address. It's time for you to hide it. And you do that through a virtual private network. It's called a VPN. If you go to virtualshield.com/Pete, you can download it and see how easy it is. For free. For free. I mean, that's how confident not only I am about this thing. You can kick the tires, and it's dirt cheap to do it. You can't afford not to do it. As low as $3 just to mask your IP address. And pretend that your physical address is not Cincinnati, Ohio. It's over here in Chicago. You're going to pretend that you're in Chicago. So they have your physical address in Cincinnati, but you're not there anymore. You're in Chicago. That's exactly what you're doing here. And there's a product called IdentiSafe that also protects and masks your... You guys, this is way, way, way above and beyond an endorsement here. I'm telling you, the hacking that's going on right now, the 911 services went down, okay? We're talking about a cyber war that's going on. Everybody needs to be concerned about this. This is the biggest issue. It's not just watching the ball drop and talking about the political inappropriateness of the New York Times reporters bringing the ball down. No, we need to protect our computers. We've got cyber war going on. They're going to literally steal pennies from each of us as we go. You'll never even notice that they're gone. $2, $3, $4 here, right? Times, I don't know, how about 100 million people, right? That they're skimming out of their bank accounts throughout the entire world. Go ahead and do that math. Do that math. Go to virtualshield.com/Pete. Okay, point made?
Point made.
Okay, point
Good
made.
job.
I have another article that I need to cover in the remaining moments that we have here on TFR. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we're shutting down. Now, I'm going to do a soft, I'm not going to be stressing out about a show on New Year's Eve. I'm not, because guess what? We're going to start up early at 10:30-ish. And I say ish. I'm going to fire the streams up. Once just tune into our channel. Make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. You'll see the thing come up on our YouTube channel. Join us in the chat room at 10:30-ish. And then we're going to lead into the new year. Okay?
Yeah.
And
we'll see how long we can hang.
We're going to stay with you. Yeah, I think we can hang until, and that's why I don't want to stress out about it. I just want to relax and enjoy the time and see the new year in. And then take your telephone calls. So we'll start up at around 10:30-ish. So we'll be back for that. Alan Dershowitz publishes a great, great story, and I'm going to read this to you. I was actually going to produce a special segment here. Comes off at True Pundit. It just so happens that True Pundit is just putting out so much great stuff. Alan Dershowitz is a liberal attorney. It's a constitutionalist.
Yeah, people on the left are very dismayed with him because he
sticks to the law. He's sticking to the law.
And they can't stand it.
They hate it. He's no longer getting callbacks from CNN because he's not going along with their narrative.
That's right.
And the narrative is as follows. Dershowitz says that a defense that might have freed Flynn and still could. Ever since former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn was arrested for lying to FBI agents, I have argued that he had a strong defense to that charge, namely that his lies were not material, because the FBI questioned him for an illegitimate purpose, to give him an opportunity to lie, rather than to obtain information it did not already have. Do you understand what was just said there? Okay? That's what is at the core of this Mueller investigation, is that they're running around trying to trip people up.
Sure.
Because they're not investigating any crimes. They're reverse engineering them. They're actually creating the crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? As we go along the way, they're literally creating the crimes that they're prosecuting.
Yes.
Okay? It's like recruiting, hiring, training, developing terrorists so that you can go solve terrorism. You created the whole friggin' thing. Mueller must have worked for the FBI.
Imagine that.
Imagine that, you freaking corrupt puke. We're going to have you in handcuffs and in Gitmo soon, I'm sure. For prosecutorial misconduct. That should be the penalty.
There you
Go
go.
to Gitmo. I don't know. Whatever the penalty is.
On this level? Wow. No kidding.
The question posed by the Flynn case is whether a lie can be material if the FBI already had indisputable evidence of the truthful answer and asked him the question for the sole purpose of giving him an opportunity to lie. I'm going to say this, and listen to me. This is a simple legal concept. Everyone should be able to understand me. You ready? They had a copy of his transcript of his telephone call with, what's his name? Sergei, Russian-sounding name, right? They had a copy of the transcript. They knew the answer to the question, what did you say to him? They already had it. There was no reason to ask him the question. They already knew. They could actually charge him if he said anything inappropriate at that point, because they had evidence of it. It's not even a probable cause thing. We have the audio recording. You said this. Is this your voice? That's what they need to ask him on the stand. Is this your voice? Yes, it is. Okay, we're going to push play. Boom. This is what you said. We're going to present the evidence in court. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is he guilty for what he just said? He just admitted it was his voice. This is what he said. Go ahead and deliberate. It's a done deal. No, they had a copy of the transcript. They have the audio recording. They already know exactly what he said, but they went there to ask him what he said. Did he remember his exact words that he used? He said, well, I don't know. I don't remember, right? Like you asked me what I said to you this morning. Sometimes I'm like, did I say that to you?
Right.
I got you. I'm looking at something else. I'm sending out a tweet to President Trump.
Right.
And you're asking me about what I want for lunch. What did you say? I'm talking about Veselnik Sky and Russian, skyscrapers.
Right.
And you're asking me if I want cheese on my friggin' sandwich. Right?
Yeah.
Throws him off a little bit. So he answers the question, and it's inconsistent with what they have on the transcript. Therefore, it's a lie. He perjured himself, okay? And this is the technicality that they have General Flynn on. As a civil libertarian, Dershowitz says, I believe the answer should be no. The proper function of an FBI or a grand jury interrogation is to obtain information they do not already have, and not to create a new crime by giving the suspect the opportunity to pass or fail a morality test with criminal consequences. Probably one of the most articulate things about this entire investigation, stated by a liberal attorney. Perfect timing, because that's how I wanted to conclude this 2018. Of course, with Roger Stone sending, and whether or not you understood what the message was that was being sent, a shot across the bow of an out-of-control battleship known as the good ship Mueller. And I say to Roger Stone, torpedoes away. Time to man your lifeboats, Mueller. Your ship is going down, brother, in 2019. I know it, so help me God. He has a whole bunch of Roger Stones. We'll see you guys tonight. Happy New Year.
This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network. We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio. It's amazing how people have been raving about iAlife all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with iAlife, it's a 99% pure CBD oil. But the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with iAlife. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to ialife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's ialife.com. AYAlife.com.
You know, if you were to follow a busy doctor as he makes his daily round of calls, you'd find yourself having a mighty busy time keeping up with him. Time out for many men of medicine usually means just long enough to enjoy a cigarette. And because they know what a pleasure it is to smoke a mild, good-tasting cigarette, they're particular about the brand they choose. In a repeated national survey, doctors in all branches of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country were asked, "What cigarette do you smoke, doctor?" Once again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this repeated nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. See how mild and good tasting a cigarette can be.
Christmas is always a time